When the world seems to be burning around you and you accidentally get hot glue on the good side of your cutting mat, there's only one thing to do. Say it with me now. We make something that brings us joy, but will probably haunt others' nightmares. Exactly. Yes, you know. So that's what we're doing today. We're making something kind of historical. What do I mean by that? Well, we're gonna make this. I've had my eye on this one for a while. Would you like to take a guess at when this illustration is from? Oh, wait a second. 1865. Isn't that cool? But I was looking at it like, that resembles nothing of 1865, like this outfit. I've made something from 1865. It was this Empress Sisi dress. I love this dress, by the way. Oh my gosh. It may or may not be sitting in a pile on my floor. Don't yell at me. But it's like, where's the 1869-ness of this outfit? I don't know. But it's actually a costume, obviously. And I think it came from like a Mardi Gras book or something. I'm not quite sure. I couldn't really find a whole lot of information about it. It's just that it was just designed in 1869, and then it's a Mardi Gras thing, and it's kind of it. Granted, I didn't dig too deep. I just was very excited about this. Yeah. To start off, since this is technically a historical thing, but it doesn't really look historical. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a really cute little petticoat with some lace. It has these flowers on the bottom. I don't know how to do those. I have ideas. I have a top that I made for Thumbelina. This top that is gonna be perfect with the little poofy sleeve, and that poofy sleeve is actually a historical sleeve. It is the sleeve that I used on the 1865 dress. So, there you go. And then for the main dress, I have this really pretty red fabric that I got on an estate sale, and I have quite a bit of it. That's the outfit. What about this giant peeper though? I'm very excited. I'm gonna make it out of paper mache. We're gonna make the dress first. So let's start with the petticoat, and then we'll make the red dress, and then we'll move on to the eyeball. Ready? I had an idea. This is one of my pinafores that I've made, and I was just gonna take it, just kind of gather the top, some tulle, just sandwich this guy in here, go down, and then it would be like gathered. Does this work? I think so, but it's not long enough. Okay, so I'm just gonna add about 2 inches, 3 inches to my skirt pattern, extend it down to give myself some more length for the fupa thing. I don't know what I'm making the petticoat out of because the fabric I was gonna use isn't gonna work. And then I have some other fabric I could use, but then I'm stealing fabric for my next project. I feel like there's an old proverb about that. Maybe I don't take that, but I did remember last year I made a Bridgerton dress. Cute, whatever. It's not my favorite thing, but it does have a bunch of flowers on it. So I'm gonna steal the flowers from this. They're just hot glued on. Also, don't yell at me for tearing up this dress. So we're just gonna take the flowers from that and put it on the petticoat. Oh, and there's a ruff. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot about this in the intro. There's a big ruff that I'm also gonna make. Stupid. Maybe I just make the ruff first because I'm having some motivation issues, some get up and go issues, and maybe making a stupid ruff will make me feel better. Let's do that. If you came here because you heard on the street I was giving out tutorials on how to make a historically accurate ruff, I got some bad news for you. I learned this technique from a video posted by the Chicago Shakespeare Theater. I started out by cutting strips of fabric. I don't remember how long mine was, but somewhere around the ballpark of 200 inches long and about 10 inches wide. So all those together, so you have one extremely long strip, fold that in half. The tutorial added horsehair to give it some structure, but I don't have horsehair. but I do have crinoline, so I use that instead. Sandwiched that between the folded pieces and then sewed it down. I also added some cute ribbon because I can. I then used the template I made to add 3 rows of dots going down the whole length of the fabric, and then used 3 sets of needle and thread to go in and out of those dots. Now, here is where I missed some crucial piece of information because my ruff ended up looking less rough and more accordion, which is not what I wanted or intended, but oh well. I take another strip of fabric that's as wide as my neck and then sew each ruff fold to it. Okay. We got a ruff. It's a little rough, but it's done. Listen, it's no Elizabethan era ruff, but it will work for an eyeball, okay? For the petticoat, I think I'm gonna make it off-white because I have a lot of this undyed muslin, and then I have this, which is a bed skirt. Came from a bed skirt, but they're the same color. See? So I thought I could put this at the bottom of this, which would look really cute. Okay, this is stupid. I'm gonna take this off. Let's make a petticoat. For the petticoat, I'm using my 8-panel gore skirt, but I want this to be large enough to pull over my hips. I decided I want to add about 16 inches total, so I cut each pattern piece down the center. Then I lay those pieces on the fabric, spacing them 4 inches apart. Let's see if you can spot my mistake here. I'm really bad at math, turns out. I was just trying to make this skirt slightly wider than my hips in the waist so that I could pull it on and give it an elastic waistband. And somehow it ended up this big. It's twice as big somehow. How did I do that? So bad at math. Okay, well, let's put a waistband on this. Ta-da! Waistband. Also, I realized what I did wrong in my math. I wanted to add 16 inches total to the waistband because I wanted a number that was divisible by 4 because there's 4 pieces, but you cut each piece out twice. So I should have only added 2 inches to each piece instead of 4. 16 times 2 is my waist measurement. So that's how we ended up with double. I figured it out. Genius. Okay, we have skirt and we have ruffle. I decided that this is going to be a really cute petticoat and I would like to dye it black. Obviously, not for this project because it wouldn't make sense. So we're going to leave it this color. I'm going to attach the ruffle. I'm going to temporarily attach the flowers because I don't want to ruin the fabric. So I might just like pin them on and I think it'll be fine. So yeah, that's going to happen later, not on camera, but like after this project. I'm just letting you know why I'm pinning the flowers and why I'm not putting them on permanently. So that's where we're at. Ruffle time. Let me ruffle this thing. Ta-da! Isn't she cute? Oh, she's so cute. I can't wait to dye her black. Next thing I need to do is add the flowers. I'm gonna pull Clara out and put this on her. That way it'll be easier to pin flowers on. Let's go. I'm just pinning on the flowers with a straight pin while watching the Munsters. In this episode, Herman's more charming and somehow British. Twin brother shows up out of the blue. Spoiler alert, he's a swindler. Anyways, I remembered I had some fake flower stems with some leaves on them, so I grabbed that out of my stash and started pinning those on too. And then to connect all the flowers together like a vine, I used some ribbon. Very cute. This is so cute. I'm very tempted just to keep the flowers and actually sew them down, but I still think I'd wear it more if it was black, so I'm still gonna dye it black. Don't be mad. But it's very cute. And if you're worried about the pins, don't. It's fine. These pins aren't gonna get me. There's so much volume in the bottom of this skirt. I've already tried it on. They don't even scratch me. They don't touch me at all. What's wrong with my voice? I sound weird today. Getting sick. I was coughing a little. Adorable. Last garment we need to make is the pinafore. I am gonna slop this together. Mostly because I really just wanna do the eyeball. I just really wanna work on the eyeball. So, and if I start working on the eyeball before I make the dress, I won't make the dress. It'll come time to make the dress and I really won't want to do it. So knowing myself like I do, I have to make this dress first. But I'm just gonna take my block. I'm not even gonna alter the block at all. I'm just gonna cut the block out. That's what we're doing. And then I'm gonna use the same pattern that I used for the petticoat for the skirt part of this and just make it a little bit longer, which we're not actually gonna hem. And then I'm gonna run some gathering stitches through to my pocket. Needle nose pliers. Why are needle nose pliers in my pocket? It's weird. Oops. All right, let me take this bit of and turn it into a dress. That was a bad snap. Let me try that again. Ow. It hurt. Still not a good snap though. One more time, one more time. Hold on, one more time. Whoa. Weird. Totally changed. Kind of like this fabric was so difficult and shifty to work with that I cut out the top and then traced out the darts and got mad and kind of threw a little bit of a fit and left the room and didn't come back for a couple of days. This is some of the worst fabric I've ever had the displeasure of working with. I hate it. It didn't seem like it would be that hard to work with, but it's almost like chiffon, where it's just like, it's never straight and it's always like wonky. But it's done. There's a whole dress with a zipper. I didn't finish any of the seams. I didn't finish the neckline. I didn't finish the armholes. They're just raw, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. And you also can't do anything about it, so here we are. The next thing I need to do with this is a quick running stitch at the bottom so that we can kind of gather it all up and then stuff it with some tulle. And this is not a very tight gathering stitch. I'm like doing like 1/2 inch at a time. I really should have waxed this thread. Will I regret that? Only time will tell. Also, I had to take a break from this project to film the reveal for my last project, the Katie Keene Space Jester, because I was waiting to get some bottoms to wear under that because that dress was quite fallopian. But I finished that yesterday. And I think it came out really cute. I really like all the bedazzling I did at the bottom of the skirt. Sometimes it's kind of a shame that I spend so much time on some of these costumes and then I just kind of don't do anything with them afterwards, but that's, I don't know. The fun part to me is making them. I mean, it's fun to like get dressed up and put them on also, but I kind of just wish I had like more of a reason to do it. Like getting to go to the convention dressed up was super fun. Oh, there's so much skirt. Why have I done this? So it's pretty nice when I figure out a way to take a costume and kind of at least interpret some of it into normal clothes that I can wear every day. A lot of the clothes that you see me wear, not specifically this, but the cute outfits you see me wear are outfits that I wear out in public. And I get some stares. And sometimes I go out and my friends are like, why are you so dressed up? And it's like, I'm not dressed up, I'm just dressed. I don't get mad. But it is kind of funny that like, if you're wearing something that's more than just jeans or athletic wear, you're dressed up. Oh, but that's one reason why I like my cost bounding series so much, is that I get to make really fun outfits and they're also clothes that I can wear on a normal basis. And I could have done that with this red dress, but this fabric. So I just don't wear red. I made this super cute designer dress that has red silk deponi in it. And it's gorgeous, but I don't know, I just don't like red. Too flashy. It's just too bright, I don't know. It's also nice when I can repurpose some materials from other dresses. I've done that a couple of times now. Sorry, I'm just kind of yapping. Let me speed this up for you guys because it's taking longer than I thought it would. Annie, can you help me out there? I got you, babe. There we go. I should get Clara out so I can put this on her and stitch it that way. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I've got this dress inside out on Clara, and I'm just tacking the ruffles in place and stuffing it with tulle. This is by no means a good way of doing this. If the dress gets any amount of strain, those stitches are gonna snap. And since it's all one big running stitch, the whole thing is gonna come loose. But we're not here for a long time, just a good time. Now, on to the part where I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done anything like this before, but I do have coffee and a can-do attitude that verges on delusion, so I think we have everything we need. Okay, so my plan is to start, period. I'm thinking, because it's an eyeball, and we need it to kind of stay on our head somehow, that I would make kind of a flat part that goes here and sits on your dome in the shape of what we need. And then that way it'll sit on my head. And this is as far as I've gotten. Off to a really fantastic start, I know. How wide do I want this to be? This wide. Start with a circle, I guess. Hold on. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Can we go a little wider? We're gonna need some hot glue. But we need it to cover our whole head. And we want the widest part to be like here and not up here. That's okay. Okay. This is just the hat. Is it obvious I don't know what I'm doing? I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to my B-roll camera and let voiceover Annie tell you what's going on, because she knows what's going on and I have no freaking clue. So it's probably gonna be a little bit better if she explains things, so. I feel like she has a little too much faith in me. I'm basically building a skeleton for the eye that I can attach the strips to and then cover that with the paper mache. That's it, really. So I have a kind of a base. Fits on my head, but my hair is in the way. For paper mache, I have a bowl, flour, a cute little whisk, and some water. And I'm told by a credible source on the internet, this is all you need. I'm gonna make a paste. Is that too much? I don't know, it's fine. Her name was, I think it was like Joe or Jill or Jim. It was like a masculine name, but it was like this really talented lady who makes paper mache masks, animals, stuff. This needs like a lot more water. And she said it was like making a gravy, and I was like, bet, I'm going with this. Get out of my spatula. It's about to get messy. I don't think you want it to be lumpy, so.
3 hours later.
Okay, that feels good enough. All right, now we're gonna start this. So I think it's too much. And then she just kind of like used her finger. What have I done? Feeling positive about this. I've never done paper mache before. That's not true, I'm lying. I remember doing it in middle school. I made a bowl. I gave it an Egyptian theme and I gave it to my grandma. She was weird about Egyptian stuff. I don't know. We're not Egyptian. Does this need more water? I really don't know. You know what? I feel like maybe yes. This feels really thick. Or maybe that was too much. I don't remember what the consistency was supposed to be, which could be helpful right now. Okay, I think it might be easier if I just coat the front and back before I put it on there. Lovely. Okay, that is easier. Wow, genius. Is it getting on the carpet? Well, that's none of your business. Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna be doing this for a while. So let's go ahead and switch over to a time lapse and watch me quickly make this. Don't be drippy. How am I gonna touch the camera? My hands are covered in goo. I did not think this through. Can't even get out of my door. What have I done? Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. Oh, yep, thank you, ma'am. Got it. I don't know who let me do this, but they should be fired. I am too messy to be working with paper mache. Not good. It's everywhere. Is it the same day, or is it the next day and I just got my shirt all dirty and I didn't want to dirty another one, so I just did my hair and makeup to look like I did yesterday? I'll never tell. It's the next day. It's the next day. But we have our base and it is nice and hard, but it's only one layer of the brown paper. And now we need to go over it more. This big hole is for me, my peepers, so that I can see out of this peeper. But the hole's a bit big, so I might just like cover it a bit. And it's a little lumpy. This can be a pretty lumpy eyeball, but I don't really know how to fix that. I kind of don't know if I even can fix that at this point. This is why people use balloons, I think. Look, here we are, and we've kind of come too far to really go back. So we're really in this now. So I'm just gonna cover this 2 more times, maybe. I got all my pile of strips here. And I'm just gonna continue to layer it and let it dry and layer it and let it dry. But I don't think that's super entertaining. So we're gonna skip ahead to when it's dry, and then we can start doing some sculpting, maybe, and painting. Maybe a slight amount of sculpting, definitely some painting. For sure painting. Who let me do this? Somebody really should be watching over me. I need a manager. Where's my manager? After all the layers have dried, I slop on multiple layers of white paint so that everything is nice and even. Ta-da! My football head. It's very lumpy. Very lumpy. But that's okay. We're just gonna push on. I guess the next thing I need to do is kind of draw the general details of the eyeball on here. And then I need to put in the eyelids and the under eyelid, which I'm gonna use foam clay for, which I will then need to let dry before I can paint. There is so much. Do a little thing, let it dry for many hours in this project. And I don't know if you know this about me, but I am not a patient person. So it's getting very irritated with this because I can't just like keep working on it. Foam clay, pencil. I should have a pencil in here. You like my overalls? These are the exact same overalls that my great-grandfather, who is a carpenter, used to wear every day. And I'm not saying every day, like, yeah, he wore these a lot. No, literally every day. The only time I did not see my grandfather wearing these overalls was on his 50th wedding anniversary to my great-grandmother, my Mimi. He wore a cute little suit for that. But yeah, they're very big. Pencil. We got really off topic for a pencil. Okay, a blue chalk pen. Yeah, that'll work. Such a mess. And I never really did clean up from my last project. I just kind of like swished it all away. What am I doing? The image is like, she's mostly eyeball. I'm just gonna take over here instead because this is a lot of footage of me trying to draw on the eyeball and not really saying a whole lot and occasionally singing a little bit of a song. I'm just drawing the outline of where the eyelids would go and then the outline of the iris as well. You can't really see because the pencil's too light, so really doing a bang up job with this one. Then I'm gluing on some wire on either side to act as the weird bit that sticks out on the ends. And then taking some foam clay, making a rim for the eyelids, and then covering the wire also with the foam clay. And then paint the pupils black. Pupil, there's just the one. Just painting the pupil black. We have a totally dry, probably for the most part. We can start painting, like for real painting. Right, I need to make a weird thing for right here, but hair in, which I should have done earlier. I'm gonna add some Quicksil to this and just like put it between the gaps to kind of like smooth this out. And then I can let that dry while I'm painting the iris of the eyeball. BRB. Oh boy, I've really been looking forward to this part. I start with a dark blue and go all around the outside of the iris, pulling the color in towards the pupil. Then I go in with a medium blue and fill in the rest. After that, I take a light blue, and this time I went from the pupil out and kind of like smushing the color around with my finger while the paint's still wet. It goes on like this for a while, switching off between the lighter blue and the darker blue, and then smudging it around with my fingers until everything kind of like looks sort of kind of vaguely how I think it should look. Now we need to paint the rest of the eyeball with a wonderful fleshy color. Oh boy. It's a little upsetting. We need to add in some more like detailing with the paint. We need to give it some like kind of pinky red around the eyes and then figure out how to give it lashes. We need some like yeah. But on this side, is that too much? That might have been too red. Done now. Okay, back to our pink. All right, just taking this on the inside, highlight right here, and swooshing it out, which is the technical term for that, in case you were wondering. It's awkward. I can make this taller. I don't have to stand like a weirdo. So this mask, slightly haunting. It's so fleshy, you know? Like a giant eyeball is one thing, but like with so much of the flesh color in it, just gives it a whole other tone. Is that looking good? All right, how's that looking? All right, let's put it at the top too. Oh, my back. Tool for this. Also, you might be wondering, what am I gonna do with this after this video? And I will let you know. I am also curious. What do you do with a giant eyeball? These bits are the weirdest. In my image, they're kind of the red that's in here, but like, I'll just give it a little bit of color. Like they're blushing. Nasty. That made it so much worse. Looks like a weird worm now. Where's your eyeball lady? Got a worm coming out of it. Oh no. Okay. Yeah. A thin black wire. Be able to just stick it in there like that, like that. Huh? Oh no. This is so scary. God. Oh my God. Let me glue this hair in. Yeah. That's great. The prettiest girl at the party. I think we're done here. I'm just gonna stick these eyelashes in and then she's done. And we can go to the reveal. Oh, this is so stupid. Haunting. I'm sorry? Well, before we move on to the reveal, let me just do my due diligence and ask you guys to subscribe, like, and comment. Please let me know if this will haunt your nightmares. If it does, it would bring me a little bit of joy, not gonna lie. If you like my content, please subscribe. I know there's a lot of viewers out there who keep watching, but you're not subscribed. Help me out. You keep coming back, so you like the show. Subscribe? Yeah? Ding ding. Anyways, let's go to the reveal. It's kind of hot in here. Whew. Hold on. She's terrifying. This is really weird. It's real lumpy, but you know, we knew it was gonna be lumpy. I don't know what to say. Looking at the photo, the dress could have been a darker red, but I think, like, that was pretty good, right? Pretty good. The weirdest part about this eyeball are these things. Like, it's unsettling. Why? Yeesh. Anyways, we did it! And it's just like, can I just show you the skin texture really quick? We're gonna get too close. And you're not gonna like it, but like, look, look at this. Ugh. Oh. Oh no. She's even scarier up close. Any guesses what my next project is? There have been hints. There have been some hints in this video. Leave your best guess below. I also feel like she should have a name, so Irisa. No. Irisa. Listen, I was on the spot, okay? It's the best I could come up with. Alright, I'm hot. There's so many layers. Also, chicken pants! Chicken pants! I totally forgot about chicken pants, and somebody commented on an old video about them, and I was like, oh yeah! Chicken pants! I love those! They're back out. We're out. Chicken pants! Also, I told you not to worry about the pins, because they weren't going to hurt me. Also, I have a petticoat on, so it's like, don't even worry about it. I'm not going to get stuck with the pins. Unless I sit down on them, stab myself real good in the butt, or like back of the thigh, but butt is funnier, so. Like a cartoon where you go to sit down, you jump up immediately. Yeah, Sadara and I are gonna go off and edit this video and start working on our next one. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye. Forgot that this camera was on. Oops. Oh, that was a good one. Ouch. Anybody else lose hair by like the fistfuls? Ouch. I ripped some of my skin off.